Walia is a student at the University of Zambia. He has an endowment of 2,000 kwacha per month in period 1, and it is expected to increase to 20,000 per month after he completes his studies. The Loan and Scholarship Board has agreed to lend him money of 3,000 kwacha every month, which will enable Walia increase his consumption to 5,000 every month. The question now is calculate how much monthly consumption that Walia will be able to afford once he is done with his university studies. So let's first of all work with this question. How do we solve this kind of question? So the first thing that we need to do is just to correct the data. And if we can see, Walia in period 1 has an endowment of 2,000. So this endowment is just the income in period 1, which is equal to 2,000. Then Walia is also able to get a loan of 3,000. So we can see that this 2,000 plus the loan Walia is getting, we can have then the consumption that he has in period 1, which is as 2,000 plus the 3,000 is getting. If we subtract these two, we will just get the amount that Walia is required to pay back in period 2. So if we say C1 minus M1, then we will have 5,000 minus M1, which is 2,000. So here we got a 5,000, and the someone is starting where the 5,000 is coming from. So when we subtract there, we just remain with a 3,000, this amount that Walia is required to pay back in the next period. So the question says, calculate how much monthly consumption that Walia will be able to afford once he is done with his university studies. So it is asking us of period 2. How much will be consumption in period 2 of Walia? So let's just turn to the blue board where we can solve this. Here we are. So we'll say income in period 2 will be the income that he is going to have in period 2 minus the amount that is going to pay back from the loan that he got, then minus as well the amount that is likely to top up, that is the interest on the loan that he got, like that. But in this case, the question hasn't spoken anything about the interest rate, so we assume it's equal to 0. Then we just got this as, if we go back to the question, we'll find this in period 2 to be 20,000. So Walia is getting 20,000, his income will increase to this amount in period 2, but he has to pay back some things that he owe in the period 1. So here we had this one equal to 3,000. When we subtract it, then we will have just a 0 there because interest rates are just 0. So here, what will remain with is just a 17,000. So this is the amount that Walia will afford on a monthly basis, considering him finishing the university studies, that is in period 2. So let's go to question 2. So let's work with now the second question, which is that assume that the Loan and Scholarship Board decide to charge interest of 5% and Walia chooses to remain a borrower. How will it affect Walia's monthly consumption in period 2? So the only thing that we need to do here is simply to change from where we did period 2 is equals to M2 minus C1 minus M1 in brackets like that, then minus R C1 minus M1 like that. Where we put a 0 here, we need to put a 0.5. So what we do is this one, 20,000 in case someone didn't see that. So we will have 20,000 in period 2 as his income, and is able to pay back 3,000 and minus some interest, which will be 0.5 of 3,000, the amount is paying back. So notice that when we calculate this, we'll end up with 16 850. So this is what we'll be getting with an interest of 0.5 in period 2. Let's go to our last question. Let me just scroll down. So let's work on the last question, number 3. Draw warriors in different scales together with the intertemporal budget constraint that shows its endowment, optimization, consumption outcomes in both periods as depicted in 2. So let me just scroll a bit. Here we are. We need to draw the graph like that, like so. Then we'll have C2, 0 here, and C1 there. And we'll also have a budget line there. Then somewhere here we can put an endowment point. So we'll say warrior M1 is here, which is just a 2000, and there will be C2, which is just equal to a 20,000. So this is for the first situation. But we also need to put the consumption that warrior is considering in period 1 with our first situation that we had. So it was at 5,000, 2,000 income plus the loan that he got is just 5,000. So this will correspond to C2, which we got, which is 17,000, like that. Then we also need to show how warrior changed when it was subjected to the interest rate. So I just want to extend that somewhere there, like that, so that we have here another line, which will be like so, because now the budget of warrior, because of an interest, is reduced. So warrior was consuming here in the first place. So this, we can call it utility 1. But this time around, his budget will go a little bit, down, because his income will reduce because of the interest that is being charged. So if we draw it like that, then the other thing that we need to do is just find where warrior will be. If you remember in the question, we were told that warrior will maintain his consumption. So he'll still be here. It's not too perfect, but you still consider this. And this will correspond to, so this will correspond to C2, which is 16 of 850, like that. So once we do this, then we know that we have shown according to the requirements of the last question. So that's it for this video. Please join me in the next approach.